Hit the button. We're in. We're on. We're live.
We're on. Yay. We remembered how to do a podcast, I think.
It's the Locacacast. Back once again.
And now it's... I'm doing the Monty Python theme.
The It's Man is actually one of my favorite bits. They didn't do it for the entirety of the show, but the whole, like, long, convoluted cold open that just ends with the word "it's" is very funny to me. We should have a long, convoluted cold open.
And they started condensing that as well.
Yeah, so, once it got shorter, I didn't think it was as funny.
Yeah, you really need him to come out of nowhere and just be like, you know, shambling towards us, and then over rugged terrain. Fuck it, cut this. This is terrible. This is terrible radio.
And shambling towards you right now is the lifeless, seemingly dead husk of the Locacacast. Back from the dead. It was not canceled. We just went on break for a month. And why did we do that? What kind of month did you have? Because we've had 2 months now waiting between episodes.
You would be forgiven for thinking that the Locacacast was dead. I mean, we did fall off. When did we fall off, Zach? Was it when we started giving honest opinions about JOJOLands?
I don't think you can fall off if you were never standing on top of anything to begin with.
That's true. All
anyway,
right.
The podcast is not canceled.
We're
back.
Ago?
What the hell happened? Well, I went on a big vacation. I was on a boat. I was in the ocean when this chapter, Jungle Warfare Part 1, Chapter 6, came out. So I didn't have my computer with me. We couldn't record. And then by the time I got back from big vacation, it was like a week till the next chapter came out. So we were just like, fuck it. We'll lump them together. 2 for the price of 1. So I've been busy. I've had a good time. How was your month, Chris?
We'll do a twofer. Okay, so.
How was your month?
My month. It's all about like media I consume anytime we do these like little month recaps. So what did I watch?
Yeah, it's funny. Yours is always like media that you're consuming or in the process of consuming, or like
you're actually going out and doing things.
Yeah, I'm like, here's what kind of grass I touched, and you're like, I've started watching all of the tokusatsu shows again. Look at all the strange types of grass I touched.
I didn't do anything that crazy, but so I did watch fucking Marvel's Secret Invasion. I finally got around to it, and boy, that is not a good show.
I haven't seen a single goddamn Marvel show.
Oh my god, don't even watch it. I like, the best thing they can do is just ignore it and just pretend it never happened.
Man, that sucks because they've been building up to that. Like,
have they?
Yeah.
Have they really?
No, I mean, like, Nick Fury at the end of Far From Home, not No Way Home. Those 2 movies fucking suck. Their naming convention, it sucks because I always say the wrong one.
The fucking home thing is so stupid to begin with.
It should have been Homecoming, Far From Home, and then Homeless. He should have been Spider-Man Homeless.
Oh my god. Because
it's the same thing as No Way Home, but Spider-Man Homeless. That should be the 4th movie, Spider-Man Homeless. I don't know.
No, isn't like the 4th movie gonna be like freshman year or some shit?
I don't know. Fucking know or care, man. The only person I have any trust or faith in is James Gunn, and I haven't seen Guardians Volume 3.
Absolutely, but like I believe I've expressed this opinion. It's just like, just fuck it. Just let James Gunn make anything.
That's the thing. Like
from now
Marvel canned him, and he was like, "Okay, guess I'll go make the Suicide Squad." And before that
movie
he made
the best fucking movie in the DCE.
Before that movie even came out, Marvel was like, "We have made a huge mistake, and we want you back." And he's like, "Yeah, in a minute." Like, he's not even begging for their attention anymore.
Let me cook.
Let me cook in a minute. I'm busy right now, but sure, later. And then he comes back and he finishes his Guardians thing, but like, he is the DCEU guy now, you know what I mean? Like, he's got more projects in the works. He's gonna be that guy for them. He's gonna be their fucking Kevin Feige figure, but good. And I'm really excited for that, and I like that he ended up not even needing Marvel. So my point is, James Gunn is different. It's not cape shit when it's James Gunn. You can quote
But
me
it's
on
like,
that. You can put that on my fucking tomb. It's not cape shit when it's James Gunn.
yeah, but it's like the primary complaint that like I've seen a lot of people have with Secret Invasion is like, okay, have you seen WandaVision, or you're familiar with the show, at least the concept of the show, the plot?
Yes, two quick things. Number one, the thing I was going to say was they've been building up to it, quote unquote, since that moment at the end of Far From Home when it was revealed that Nick Fury was actually in space far away and there was a duplicate scroll of him on Earth. I wanted to know what happened after that, but now hearing people be vastly disappointed with Secret Invasion, now I'm like not interested to see what happens with that storyline because people don't seem
Okay,
to
well,
like it.
so
Secondarily, I haven't
like,
seen any of the Marvel shows. Not Loki, not WandaVision, not the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, not none of this shit. Not Hawkeye, not motherfucking
but you're
Moon
aware that
Knight.
but you're aware that it was a thing and Wanda had an arc, right?
Yeah, she had an arc and she like mind controlled the whole town, but then at the end everyone forgave her, which was weird. Like I know that
Oh,
happens.
nobody forgave her. Nobody forgave her.
Oh.
But like the messed up thing was, okay. So the finale of WandaVision is kind of fucked
The
up.
show
But
kind of
like,
lets her off the hook.
yeah.
At least I've heard.
But the point is, like, WandaVision is a show about like dealing with grief, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then fucking Sam Raimi comes along and makes Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and completely undoes Wanda's entire arc from that show
Right. I saw
off screen.
Multiverse of Man. And what's crazy is that we've been doing this JoJo podcast the entire time I have been, like, going outside. You know what I mean? Like, we started this when I was a shut-in still, and now I'm this grass toucher. So, like, my first girlfriend in Arizona, like, and this is, like, my first girlfriend out of college. This is, like, last year in April. Sorry, not out of college, out of high school. This is my first like actual relationship. I saw Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness with this girl, and she was a big Marvel fan and loved Wanda and WandaVision, and was like a huge draw for her. Was like, what's gonna happen with Wanda in this movie? Like, where are they gonna take this character that I love so much? And walking out of that movie with her, she was fucking devastated. She was like, yeah, it was a good movie, but like, what have they done? Like, they just undid her whole arc. So even though I didn't see WandaVision, I knew that that was happening. But it's funny that we've been doing this podcast for longer ago than that memory is in my mind. I feel like since I started going outside and I met all these new people, my life has changed so much. But one thing hasn't changed, and that's doing the fucking Locacacast with Chris.
Oh, well, don't worry about not having seen WandaVision, Zach, because apparently Sam Raimi didn't actually see it either.
Oh, that's crazy. And I didn't see WandaVision, but I liked Multiverse of Madness. Like, I understand that it's the Multiverse of Midness. It's kind of a mid-ass movie. But it has some great Sam Raimi as fuck stuff in it.
Oh, dude, there's so much great stuff in it. I just wish it hadn't, like, ignored the stuff leading up to it.
And also, like, you have the multiverse as a concept, and the most interesting thing you can think to do with it is, like, here's a universe where traffic lights are red means go instead of green. Like, what the fuck are you doing? That's the most boring shit in the universe.
Well, they also had like an interesting like solar punk aesthetic to that universe as well.
Yeah, there was that. It was aesthetically interesting, but I was like, that's goofy as hell.
But the point is, you have a universe called the Multiverse of Madness, and there are 3 universes in that fucking movie.
Right.
Anyway,
the music battle with evil Doctor Strange was fire. I'll just say that.
It was. Yeah, the point of this whole fucking tangent about WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness is, so imagine that, but in reverse, where like the person making the Secret Invasion TV show didn't actually have any interest in following the larger MCU movies, and decided to simply ignore them for the purposes of his own headcanon and basically just made an absolute mess of it. So in I don't care about spoiling it. I don't care. It's fucking shit. I don't care. You shouldn't either.
I
Secret
don't, dude.
Invasion.
I can tell you, I do not care.
So in Secret Invasion, one of the reveals is that Rhodey is a Skrull, and we're not given an answer in the show as to how long he's been a Skrull. But
Yeah.
after
I was about to say,
show
what do you
came
mean?
out-
For how long?
But after the show came out, like people were asking him, like we're asking the director, like, "Hey, how long has he been a Skrull?" And he's like, "Oh, I think he's been a Skrull since Civil War." And I'm like, "What? That's fucking ridiculous and makes no sense and completely ruins Rhodey's arc."
Yeah, the whole, like, when he gets injured in Civil War, like, I have problems with Civil War. I really liked it when I saw it, but then I've you know, I'm not saying I've let other people's criticisms taint my enjoyment of the movie, but when you listen to other people's criticisms and they're salient criticisms that you yourself didn't even consider, but now that you do consider them, you can't unsee them, that's not like just absorbing someone else's points and being a follower and a regurgitator. That's like, okay, I have been exposed to a thing that I didn't think of before, and it's forcing me to think more deeply about this, and maybe it's not as good as I thought, which is a healthy and okay thing to do. In the Civil War airport fight, the tone is fucking whack. Like, everyone's making jokes. Fucking Hawkeye's like, hey, are we still friends after this? You know, it's fucking like, this should be a heartbreaking moment where these characters are forced to turn on each other. Like, I didn't see it that way at the time. I was like, yay, fun battle! But now I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is... and it's not that they did it wrong, it's that you missed an opportunity to do it much better and leave a much bigger impact. And, like, you're never going to get to do that again with those characters at that time. You know, you only get one shot. I don't know what I was trying to say with all that. I like Civil War, but I have problems with it.
But it's like when you think of all of Rhodey's appearances since the end of fucking Civil War, and like you think of like, oh man, like when the fucking compound got bombed in Endgame, and like he was like he had to like crawl on like his forearms because like his legs don't fucking work, and it's like, why would a Skrull care?
Right, that's crazy. That's ridiculous to think about. I forgot why I said all that. It was because I was going to say the problems I have with Civil War, sure, but that moment when he gets shot by the fucking vision beam and he crashes into the thing is, like, scary. Like, the tone is pitch perfect right there. And then his whole arc after that, at the very end of the movie, he's, like, learning to walk again. And that great moment where he's without his suit and he has to crawl on his belly like a snake, like, that's incredible stuff. That, to me, is awesome in the same way as, like, come on, Spider-Man, when he lifts up the heavy thing. You know what I mean? That's, like, going beyond your limits. That's, like, that takes real grit. So I would be so disappointed if a non-actual Rhodey, like an impersonator, did that. And why would they even do that?
And fuck the compound bombing scene. What about fucking Tony Stark's funeral at the end of Endgame?
Right.
Spoilers for Endgame, by the way, if you haven't already seen it. But, like, if you haven't already seen it at this point, like, I don't even know what you're doing.
You know what's funny, though, is that, like, Tony Stark dies in Endgame is, like, at this point, like, Goku dies in the Cell games. You know what I mean? Like, we all culturally know it. It's like Luke is Darth Vader's son. You know what I mean? It's one of those. Like, it's just seeped into the culture. There's nobody who doesn't know that.
But it's like you see everybody at Tony Stark's funeral, and, like, everybody's, like, so sad because he's gone.
Yeah.
And, like, imagine how fucking undermined the emotional impact feels if you imagine that Rhodey is a Skrull at that moment.
Yeah, no, I don't fuck with that. That's pretty silly.
Which is why I maintain that it's just best to ignore the director's little theory and, in fact, just ignore fucking Secret Invasion and pretend it never happened. And instead, focus on good media that I actually consumed, which was, a couple more things, just a couple more things. I'm not going to drag this out too long. But I started watching Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who. And I started with the third Doctor because, like, if you go back to the first and second Doctor, it's like what you run into is they were terrible at media preservation back then. So like
Are
a
you
lot of
telling
the
me
stuff.
you're a fucking filthy part skipper? You went straight to part 3? I'm kidding.
You
That's a
have
JoJo
to.
joke. That's a JoJo.
You have to. You have to skip parts.
It's a
Cause,
JoJo
'cause you have no
podcast,
option.
Chris. I had to say
know.
it.
I know.
I had
I'm
to.
just saying. I'm just saying because
Go ahead.
if I responded like I get the joke, I would go off on a tangent and I would forget what I was going to say in response to it.
Which is what's happening
Okay.
now.
So, what I'm saying is you have to basically skip parts in the first and second
Because they're
Doctor's
simply
run
lost to time.
because you have no choice.
Yeah.
They're not there. You can't fucking watch them.
They're lost to time.
So I decided rather than like be in the middle of like fucking, let me actually figure out what was the first fucking incomplete serial. Okay, so if we take for example the first Doctor serial, The Reign of Terror, which is fucking 6 episodes, but it's missing episodes 4 and 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be watching that, right? I'd go like I'd watch the first 3 episodes and then just immediately skip to like the end, and it's like, what the hell just happened? So that's not my jive. I didn't want to do that. Okay, I didn't want to do that. That's why I decided to start with the third Doctor, which also coincidentally happens to be when the show started being broadcast in color. So there's that little aspect that's nice as well.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, you and I watched a movie.
Yes.
We watched American Psycho.
Indeed, we did. And we had some things to say and to think about it.
I think it's probably it's one of the funniest things I've watched recently.
Was it funnier than Clerks, or equally as funny, or not as funny? Funny in a totally different way, but do you think you laughed more frequently or less frequently?
It's funny in a very different way.
Completely.
It's not like belly laugh, like haha, hilarious, but like I rarely get the belly laugh funny anyway. So,
I heard you crack up several times during both movies.
But it's like a lot of it is like you know, it's just like fucking Patrick Bateman pretending to be human, but he's not.
And it's like absurd dark humor where it's like the scene is going on and you're like, what the fuck? And then it keeps going, you're like, what the fuck? And then like something happens and you just start laughing. Like the tension is built to the point where you're like, this is absurd, and you have no choice but to start laughing.
And you know what's funny? I'm not sure the comedy is 100% intentional in that movie, but it doesn't matter because I enjoyed it. I got enjoyment out of what is probably unintentional comedy. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a good movie.
I think it really rides the line, but I think it's intentional. I don't think anyone would write a scene where Patrick Bateman has sweat dripping down his face and he drops the business card and stares into space. My God, the tasteful thickness of it. I don't think anyone wrote that not knowing what they were doing, that it was supposed to be absurd and funny.
Or the scene where he's like having a threesome with prostitutes.
Yeah,
he's just looking in the mirror and making faces at himself.
The career of Phil Collins before Genesis was truly, and then he's just looking at himself in the mirror. You're right. It's hilarious. He's like flexing. And then we had a discovery where, you know, everybody compares Patrick Bateman in... I was going to say Christian Bale in American Psycho as Patrick Bateman. Everyone compares that to Yoshikage Kira, like right down to the whole monologue about how normal he is.
That was a comment I made early on as well.
Yeah, you were like, this guy's Kira, which is the same reaction I had to the film when I watched it in high school, and I was already a JoJo fan. But then, you know, at the time, I had looked it up. American Psycho came out in 1999 or 2000. That JoJo part 4, was written in like 1994 or 5. And so I was
but then you have to factor in the book.
Right. At the time I had decided, oh, okay, I guess it's just a coincidence or convergent evolution. Maybe they were both inspired by the same other thing. There's no way Kira is based on Patrick Bateman. However, The book American Psycho, I believe, came out in 1991 or 1992, and even though it takes some time for books to be translated into Japanese, in the 90s we were already living in a pretty globalized, internet-connected world, so I think it's possible. And also, you got to factor in Kira doesn't show up till halfway through part 4, so that's like 1995, 1996.
Exactly.
So he had time to read American Psycho, maybe. It's possible that Yoshikage Kira might be related to or based on Patrick Bateman in some way, but book Patrick Bateman, because the movie didn't exist yet. But it's possible. This is something Chris and I uncovered just when we were watching the movie. I looked up when did the book come out, and we discovered it's possible.
But yeah, that was my 2 months. That was my 2-month recap.
All right, let me do mine. I'll do it fast. I went on a cruise. Sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry. You go ahead.
Finish yours. I don't want to step on you here. I don't want to step on your toes.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go quick. So the last time we recorded an episode was what, in June? Yeah, because we didn't do one July, and now it's August. So from June to now, I've been doing a lot of stuff. I went on vacation. I went on a cruise. We did like a cruise around the Mediterranean. It was sick. I saw the Colosseum. I saw the fucking Parthenon. We went to Athens and Rome. It was very cool. There's a lot of stuff to see. I took a lot of pictures, but traveling is fucking exhausting. So what did I do? I came back home and immediately went on another trip with my girlfriend and her family to Mexico. I went to Puerto Peñasco, and it was really cool. I had never been to Mexico before, like, just driving there. Like, I'd never driven over the border, you know? We had gone on cruises before, my family, and we'd stopped in Mexico. But Puerto Peñasco does not have a big enough port for cruise ships. So, like, tourists don't go there. This is, like, for people from other states in Mexico. This is where they go. And it was really cool. I liked it. It was interesting. So...
This is Mr. Worldwide here.
I went to fucking Europe. I went to Mexico. I'm Mr. Wide right now. And I did all that, and now I'm out of money. My heart is full, but my wallet is empty. And I'm getting no hours at work, because it's the summer, and I work in hotel audio-visual services, so no companies want to bring their fucking employees to Arizona in the summer to do their events. So I'm getting no hours at work. I am broke, but everything else in my life is good. My thing with my girlfriend is still going good, obviously, because we went to Mexico together. But, yeah. Also, I have been playing a lot of Monster Hunter 3 on the 3DS. I've gotten big back into Monster Hunter. As a side effect of my newly acquired poverty post these big vacations, I cannot buy new video games anymore. I have made a rule. I'm like, stop buying new video games. You have to go back and play video games you already own, or emulate, or beg, borrow, or steal. So... I am playing through the rest of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and it's really fun. I forgot how much I love this game. And, you know, I wanted to get into Monster Hunter World when that came out, fucking 2018. And I was like, well, I bought Monster Hunters 3 and 4 on the 3DS, and I never finished them, so I should probably go do that before I buy a whole new Monster Hunter. And then I probably won't finish that either. And now here we are, 5 years later, and I've never revisited 3 or 4 to finish them, and so I've never played... anything after 4 Ultimate. Never got to play Monster Hunter World, even though it looks amazing. I never did any of that. I haven't been keeping up with the series. Because in my heart, I need to finish what's already on my plate. So I've gone back to Monster Hunter 3. I finished the normal main quest. And now I'm on the high rank quests. And after that, I guess I'll do G rank. But like, I'm soloing. I don't have anyone else to play with because there wasn't online in Monster Hunter 3 on the 3DS. But... you know, I'll go as far as my solo play can take me. And I'm having a great time with it. Monster Hunter 3 on the fucking 3DS. Great game. Great game. Best game. Best game. 10 out of 10. Best game.
Alright, cool. What you were saying about...
Oh, like, wait! I also started watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia!
Oh, shit! How do you feel about that?
It's really good!
Isn't it, though?
Yeah! Have you seen it? I'm on season 7 right now, bro.
Oh, I've seen, like, up through, like, fucking season 16? I don't know.
16 or 17 is the one that's just coming out now, that just finished. I think that's...
maybe it was No, 15 then.
I don't know.
I don't
I'll
know.
figure it out. Always Sunny bowling episode, because I was watching on the cruise. Yeah, the gang goes bowling, right? Yeah, season 16. Okay, so you probably saw season 15 because season 16 just came out like in July.
Let me see.
So here's the deal. I had seen various episodes of Always Sunny.
No, I think it was season. I think it was season 14.
All right, well, I'm halfway there then. I'm only on 7. But I had seen episodes of Always Sunny here and there because my brother really liked it, and he would show it to me sometimes. Or, like, you know, he would have an episode, and he'd be like, okay, you guys got to watch this one. Like, we'd be in the room playing Halo, but then we got to eat something, and you can't really eat and play video games at the same time and have a clean controller and a clean conscience. So we got to switch over and watch something. And he's just, like, he'll put on a single episode of Sunny. And so I knew I liked it, but I had never, like, decided to take the plunge and watch the whole thing from the beginning. And I don't know why. I was just getting, like, clips and funny shit recommended to me on YouTube. There was, like, Always Sunny memes floating around in my life. And then I went on the cruise, and Graham was, like, watching the new episodes of the new season. And I, like, sat down and I watched the bowling one with him. And then he was like, oh, you got to see this one and this one. And he was jumping all over in the series, playing me random episodes. And I was like, okay, stop. I've decided I love this. I'm going to watch all of it from the beginning. So I have been having an amazing time with it. And I really, really like it. And I like how it's everything's canon. You know what I mean? The characters never reset to a status quo. Every stupid thing that happens like is a permanent change. For instance, Dennis, much later, they're trying to like get Frank's whore wife into like a presentable woman, and he's like, what's that smell? Is she smoking crack in here? Oh my god. Okay, Mac, she is smoking crack. This is not a safe environment for me. I have to leave. Like referencing that they were addicted to crack 3 or 4 seasons ago. He's like, ooh, I'm in a relapse.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get out of here. And they don't make a big deal out of it, but like everything is canon. That's something that I like about Community as well.
They'll ruin people's lives, and those lives will stay ruined.
Right. That's something I like about Community as well. And I guess Rick and Morty has this too, where it's like, this is a serialized show, but it's like episodic. It's serialized in disguise. It's mainly episodic, but it's actually a continuous long serial narrative, and you just don't notice sometimes.
But Rick and Morty's a little different because they can hop to another dimension where like a side character will die, but they'll be alive in another dimension.
Yeah, well, that's true. I don't know. I was really more pointing at Community because they have this, but it's also like, I was really. I said Rick and Morty because I was thinking of Dan Harmon and his style of storytelling, and I guess Rick and Morty isn't that good of an example after all.
He's beginning to morb.
It's morbid time! Okay, I'm morbed. I'm done. Anyways, man, whatever. Always Sunny, great, fantastic, really enjoying it. At this time, I'm also watching, I just watched the new season of Baki. You into Baki at all? You like Grappler Baki?
No.
We should get you into that. We should try that. We should see if we can get you into that. I'll show you.
The other thing, like, if I can say really quick, that you reminded me of, when you were saying about how like you weren't getting any hours at work, it's like actually, I went back to school for the final semester for my bachelor's degree.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
I don't have any time to work now.
Oh nice. Well, I mean, hey, it's tough to do work and school at the same time. So if you can afford to just do one, hell yeah.
All right, so.
Other thing I've been watching is Baki, and then also Sonic Prime. And I'm doing a rewatch of Adventure Time from the beginning. And I'm playing Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Ooh, and I'm really into Street Fighter 6 right now. I'm actually really good at it. I'm like Gold 5. I'm trying to get up into Platinum. I'm gonna get there.
Who do you main again? Did you
Ken!
Ken?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Ken, did you see Barbie?
No, I haven't seen Barbie yet.
Oh, man, we got to have a little book club about it. Okay, your homework between now and the next podcast, go see Barbie. Come back, we'll talk about it.
We got to do the Barbenheimer cast.
I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, because my girlfriend is like, we should go, we should see Oppenheimer. And then she looks it up, and there's no 70 screenings, and she's like, well, we shouldn't bother going if we're not going to see it in 70. And I'm like, okay, but this is going to happen every time you look it up. Like, they're just all sold out forever.
I'm terrified to see Barbie because it'll be like, because you've seen my face, you've seen what I look like.
Yeah.
So imagine me walking solo into the theater to watch Barbie.
I went to the theater by myself to watch Barbie.
I don't know. I'm scared.
I don't think you have anything to be scared of. It is a fun movie for fun, normal people to go to have fun and feel normal. I think you'll be all right.
Yes, but we both know I'm not normal people.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all a construct. It's all a psyop. There's no normal. Just be cool. I mean, I went to Barbie by myself, and I just, like, sat down and watched the movie, and then left, like, oh, cool, fun movie. And I saw other people were there in groups, but I didn't necessarily feel weird about it. And I just think that feeling weird is a choice that you can make or not make. You know, your environment is your environment, but you can choose how you react to it.
I'm just worried about walking into a theater full of, like, 10-year-old girls there with their family, and, like, the parents start dialing 911 as a precaution.
Well, I mean, you're not dressed as a KKK member. You're not coming in there to do mass shooting. You're just coming there to watch the movie, man. And also, it's not really like a Finding Nemo, The Incredibles type crowd of people. Like, it's mostly people our age who's going to get all the jokes. Like, it's not really a kid's movie at all. I don't think a kid would understand it. I mean, you would be like, ooh, pretty colors, bright lights. There's a sad part and then a happy part. But it's, like, not really a kid's movie. It's not inappropriate for kids. But it's totally not made for them.
I will make an effort to see the movie one way or another.
Excellent. That is all I ask. Anyway, our time in between podcasts being now accounted for and documented and commented on, what say we get into these 2 fucking chapters, man?
Let's do that, yeah.
Excellent.
Cool.
I just want to say right off the bat, do you have the chapter pulled up?
Yes,
okay.
Chapter 6.
I just want to say right off the bat, Jodio is sort of doing a modified Killer Queen pose with his hands. He's doing a Killer Queen thing. See that. You know what I mean? Like, if that arm, which is pointing down, was instead pointing up.
But it's like, I look at this and, like, you know what I see?
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. They're about to drop the hottest mixtape of 2023.
Hang on, let me,
I look at this and I see Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Because I have to send you, like, something to explain it, because, like, if I just explain it by talking, like, it's here.
Okay, all right. Hang on a sec. Let's. Okay, all right. Chris has something for us here. Oh, why the fuck is it coming out of my speakers? Why the hell?
Oh no.
It's coming out of my fucking television screen. That sucks. Let's fix that. Okay. There we go. Oh, Messages from the Stars. I love this song.
But this is the vibe I get from this fucking title screen here. Title screen, title page. Jesus.
This is so much fun, actually. I love this. I want to watch it again. I'm watching it again right now. I love Messages from the Stars. Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Alright, this is what I was saying. This reminds me so much of this. No, not Friday Night Funkin' Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Just regular image of the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Yeah, so it reminds me of this. Man, I'm not trying to go to knowyourmeme.com. I'm just trying to send Chris this image.
Oh no, I see it.
Oh, you can already see it.
I pulled it up on Google Images.
Well, they look like this. This is what they look
what I'm
like.
looking at.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. I mean, it's just correct. It's just right and true. Jodio is doing the hands. All right. Anyway. Back to the matter at hand. This is the most swagged out chapter page we've had yet. Like, let's go back. I'm going to go back to the other chapter pages for comparison. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah, this one's definitely the coolest.
Well, because, like, they just got the money rock, right?
Yeah.
So now they get the money.
Alright, so we got... This was the starting page, which is pretty cool. The one with the volcano. And then we got him pointing at you. Then we got the fucking Gorilla's Demon Days ass. The one with the 4 quadrants. And then we got the hands up pose. And then we got the clenched fist, the thumb on the lip. This one is clearly the dopest so far. There's money on the walls. I mean, it's just sick. Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Okay. Continuing. From the last chapter, the last thing that happened is that we convinced Rohan to let us fuck off into the woods and to not call the policia. And Rohan warns him about the lava rock and can you trust those comrades? And they walk away. They talk about the drawing that that Usagi stole. And then we see the cats following them. That's the last we saw of our characters. So this chapter opens.
Our heroes have acquired Part 9 rock.
Yes, Part 9 rock. Part 1 rock, Part 2 rock, Part 3 rock, Part 4 rock. Ignore that, ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. Speaking of Always Sunny, do you listen to the Always Sunny podcast at all? You know about that?
Oh no, I didn't know there was one.
Oh, it's great, man. It's the creators of the show, and they just go back through and every episode of the podcast, they watch one episode of the show, and then they talk about it. And they talk about, like, here's what we were thinking when we made this. Like, do you remember that? Oh, yeah, no, I remember. I was arguing for this because I thought that would be funnier, but I like it this way. You know, it's just funny.
Oh, fun.
It's
so
just
it's
good.
It's like a director's commentary reel.
Yeah, a little bit. They're not watching it live on the podcast, at least not in the early part, but I saw my mom also really likes Always Sunny now. Graham got her into it too. I saw my mom watching a much later episode of the podcast, and now they actually watch the episode on the show. Like at the beginning they started doing it, when they started the podcast, they were watching it before, and then they would come in like, yeah, I watched it last night with my wife. Here's what we thought all these years later. So now they actually watch it on the show, but I haven't gotten there yet in my listening of it. But it's on YouTube. Always Sunny podcast. Anyway. But the Always Sunny podcast, I brought it up because I said, ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. And they have a constant running joke on the Always Sunny podcast. Cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that. They're constantly asking for things to be cut in that exact tone. Cut that, cut that, cut that. And all 3 of them will start doing it at once, like echoing it back and forth to each other.
Me when I lose track of what I'm saying.
Cut that, cut that,
in
cut
this
that, cut
podcast.
that. Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Because you'll notice I have a tendency to like open my mouth and speak before I know where I'm actually going with the sentence.
Yeah, and you'll sometimes restart the sentence a couple times, like you're revving up to like hit the rest of it strong once you've got it mapped out. I'm also bad at it because I will just start and then trail off.
You know, as demonstrated here.
Yeah. I'll stutter and I'll trail off and I will forget what I was saying and I'll go on long tangents. So it's almost like my problem is with an overabundance of talking.
Maybe this is why we fell off as a JoJo podcast, because we're not actually talking about the chapter.
Yeah, well, I mean, you didn't seem to have a problem with that for the first 30 minutes when we were talking about our lives and other random shit. This is what we've always done.
This is the podcast you clicked on to listen to.
It's your fault, listener. Okay,
You
so
did this.
jumping right in, how did you interpret this first little monologue he has here? There are these relationships that coincide with where I live, go to school, etc. I think they're helping me grow a decent amount as a man. And it's not like I'm going to do stuff like this forever. But right now, just to make some pocket money, I'm working in this group of 4 pieces of trash with the role of lookout. What did you make of that?
So like, it seems like Jodio is trying to be a good person generally, but being a good person won't pay the bills. And he's thinking about how Rohan just said, like, don't trust those fools. They will betray you.
But I think there's something else going on there where I'm concerned as to why. Well, I get this opening part. There are these relationships that coincide with where I live and go to school. They're helping me grow. So that's like, these aren't friends that I've chosen. These are just friends that I have as a consequence of where I am in my life right now. And I'm using them to advance myself. But like, I'm not going to be doing stuff like this forever. He has sort of like the mindset of like, yeah, man, I'm just dealing drug to make ends meet right now, but I'm going to go on to bigger and better things. Like, I'm not going to be doing this for the rest of my life. And I think
just got to make that 737,000 and get out.
Yeah. I mean, he's engaging in almost that same type of like, no, I'm just doing this for a little while. Like, he said he's a psychopath. Like, he's got disorder. And I think that he's going to find that it's harder to stop doing these things and go straight than he thinks. But the thing I'm really concerned with...
You think Araki's going to go full Breaking Bad with it?
I think that Jodio's greed is going to be his undoing at least once during the story. I think it's going to put him in a really bad spot, and he's going to almost lose everything due to his greediness and his dedication to the hustle. Anyway, but the part that concerns me is right here at the end. I'm working in this group of 4 pieces of trash. Now, 2 things. Number 1, that means he's calling himself trash also. Number 2, that means he's calling Dragona trash. I don't know why he would do that. I would understand calling Paco and Usagi trash, but like yourself and Dragona?
I think it may have to do with like it's probably like that's the perception that society would have of them.
I guess so. I'm actually going to do something we don't normally do on this show. And
you're consulting the translation notes so you can dig anything up?
Not quite the translation notes, but we are going to go consult the dog park translation.
Ah.
I'm going to go see what it says here.
What wisdom can we gain?
Back where I live and at school, I've got ties to the people I know. As a boy, I still want to grow up and mature in my own way. The 4 of us, we're trash who turned to a life of crime to earn some pocket money. But it's just for now. It's not like I can keep doing this forever. Besides, I'm just the lookout. Interesting. That gives me a totally different opinion of what he means by that.
That's an extremely different translation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still the same sentiment of, like, we're actually scum, and I know that, which I guess is what he's trying to convey in both translations. Like, he's like,
well, I mean,
we are trash, though.
Like, they're selling drugs. They're not good people, obviously.
Yeah. But in the Hiwa Matsunobu, he says, and it's not like I'm going to do stuff like this forever. Like, he's overconfident and, like, he knows that he's not going to be one of these guys who's stuck slanging crack rocks on the corner until he's 60 years old. Like, he's overconfident. He's very cocky. I'm not going to do stuff like this forever. It's all uphill from here for me, baby. As opposed to, in the other one, he says, it's not like I can keep doing this forever, which indicates a cautious, like, crime doesn't pay forever. Like, I need to do this and then get out. Like, I can't keep doing this forever. Gives a totally different
Good point.
opinion than it's not like I'm going to do stuff like this forever. I don't know. But I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to bring it up. He calls himself and Dragona trash. So he has a keen sense of that they're scum and they're like feeding on the underbelly. Anyway, so Lava Rock, he's holding it, he's speculating, he's narrating. He says, I won't do jack unless it makes me money. There's a little, he trips over the twig. We're on the next page now. Usagi fucking recognizes a specific bird. We ain't lost, right? Which way was the car? The diamond's on the ground, right. And then now we start experimenting with the lava rock, and we start figuring out how the lava rock works. Alright, we took 5-minute break over. So these
This is
fools,
the worst episode we've ever done.
I don't know, man. We can cut out some of it, and it'll be better. Look, so these fools are fooling around with the goddamn diamond. And it's funny how we were calling it the crazy diamond. Because it was like, had all these strange properties, and you couldn't pick it up and hold it, and it was teleporting around the room. But the diamond's not even crazy at all. The diamond's normal. It's a crazy rock.
Nah, it's part 9 rock.
It's part 9 rock. It's always the rocks. JoJo, it always comes down to a magic rock of some kind.
Well, Araki does like rock.
A rocky... We're done. We're done with that. We're moving on. Right.
This is terrible. This is a terrible thing you've done.
The diamond and the drawing are attracted to the rock. And they're, like, figuring it out, and they're talking about it, and, like, money and stuff. This is, like, the panels are drawn well, but there's not a ton to say about this. It's just the characters figuring out how the rock works.
Yeah.
So valuable items gather towards the rock.
It's funny how we were actually... It was funny how we were actually worried that, like, about, you know, the length of the episode. But it turns out there's not actually a lot going on in these 2 chapters.
Nope, it's kind of a lot of explanations of things that the audience has kind of intuited by this point. Alright, so... Well, I mean, I don't know, because this is a month ago, so to me it seems like, yeah, I've known what the rock does forever. But is this the first real explanation of it? Like... Right, he destroys the other one. Right. Yeah, no, so this is the first explanation of what the rock does. I'm sorry, so this seems passé because it was a month ago for me, but this is the first time we get to understand that it's not the diamond teleporting around, it is the rock dragging the diamond and other valuable items towards itself. So we get the diamond's, the rock's power explained.
Did we actually theorize that? Did either of us...
I don't know. I know that I definitely called that the rock is the valuable thing and not the diamond. Like, I was like, that rock is probably more important than the diamond. And it's probably got supernatural powers, and that's why Rohan came here, because he's either trying to find more rocks like that, or find out what makes the rock tick, which is why he had all those lava rocks and all the testing equipment in that other room. And I remember saying at the time, there's something different about that rock in the safe from all of these ones, and he's probably trying to find others like it or figure out what its deal is by studying other lava rocks. So I called that, but I don't think either of us knew that the lava rock attracts money to itself. Anyway, they're returning, they're coming back. The bills, things with monetary value will do that. Lava rock. Right, okay. So, it's so funny, though, that the diamond isn't even crazy, but still, Jodio going to go pick it up is what starts the fight. He trips over the snare, and he gets snared. Now, my question is this snare a physical snare that was actually set? Like, is it a rope, or is it the string of the stand of those cats? Is it the cat stand string, or a real rope? And we will have... like, reason to believe one or the other later in this chapter.
Well, we see it's got like a sharp end here, like there's a point to it in this panel where uh like the one immediately after he trips on it, we
Hmm.
see the sharp end of it, and
Where it's winding
that's
around
what
him.
the strings look like,
Okay.
what the cat strings look like.
Yeah. I actually totally missed that. That it's doing the. Sorry, I'm eating a sandwich. It's doing the little sound effects of moving on its own. It's moving on its own. It's acting like the cat's stand strings. That's probably what it is. But I'm confused because later there will be a contradiction to this. Or at least something that I would like to discuss because I'm not sure if it's a contradiction or not. Also, I like this little, like, the anticipation panel of where he says "irk" and he like is getting inverted and hit upside down, and then you see his shoes and their speed lines like the "foo," and then he smacks his head on the ground. I don't think I even noticed this the first time I read it, but he smacks his fucking head into the ground and he's like bleeding from his head a little bit. So now he's upside down. He drops the rock and the drawing, and then now here we are. We are in the fight proper. This is our situation that our characters are going to be in for a while. Jodio's hanging upside down by his ankle from a branch on the tree. And we've got our three characters besides him down below.
Is
And
it
then,
like is it just me, or like has Araki gotten like way better at like setting up unique situations for characters to be in starting off a fight?
I think that he's continuously finding ways to improve and shake up the formula. And I think that starting your character on the back foot or in a weird, uncomfortable position or not a position of strength is like always a fun way to do that.
Because like Jonathan Joestar, for example, would never have started a fight like hanging by his ankle upside down from a tree.
Mm-hmm. It's simply not dignified. Unbecoming of a nobleman such as Jonathan.
Well, I mean, like there's that, but also like
It was
the
just so much
fights
more straightforward back then.
the fights in part one were all much more straightforward. I mean, like there was the one with fucking Tarkus where like they were chained up, but like other than that,
Yeah.
it was all pretty much bog standard.
Yeah, I mean, as bog standard as it was, there was still creativity. There was still, like, Jonathan uses the sword to slice
But then you
Theo.
get like, but
It
then you get
doesn't
like
work.
later on, but then like you get later on, like in part four, where it's like the final battle. There's a part where fucking Kira's dad is hanging out in a house and radioing his son to like help him guide fucking or am I completely misremembering?
No, your help. Yoshihiro Kira is in the little fucking Polaroid photograph, and he's floating around, and
No,
he's
no,
got
no,
the
no.
phone.
This was like the final. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's got the phone,
He's,
and he's telling his son where Josuke is and where to move the bubble by how many meters. And Josuke
yes.
has the phone,
There we
and
go.
he's just doing an impression of his father. And somehow Kira buys that. Like, Josuke's impression of his dad is good enough. That's just the side effect of it being a manga originally, though, isn't it? Because, like, you don't think about those things when it's just words on a page.
And then like by part 8, we have like the first real fight in the part is like the guy is on the floor above you.
Right. I mean, he's a master of the start of a fight. You know what I mean? Like that moment in JoJo. Excuse me, wow. That moment in JoJo where, like, the character isn't quite sure if a fight has even started yet. Like, hang on, something feels strange. And then, like, it always quickly gets wildly out of control, and it's like, oh shit,
Well,
we're
like,
in the fight, we're happening. Araki's
that
been
makes
really
me think,
good at that the
that
whole
makes
time.
me think of that makes me think of like part 5, Squallow and
Tiziano.
fucking Tiziano, right? Because like you remember the prelude to that fight was like they're in Venice, they're on guard, the enemy could be anywhere. And they start beating up this random dude, and it's like, oh, looks like he's not really an enemy. And so they're like, okay, I guess we can relax a little, have some lunch. And then fucking Narantia sees shark fin in his drink or whatever.
Right.
Um, but then like he can't actually communicate that a fight is happening because he's already been like afflicted by fucking Tiziano's stand.
Talking head. Yeah, I like the unusuality of that, where it's like a fight has started, but only one of our characters even knows it's happening, and he's not able to communicate to the rest that it's happening.
Oh, that reminds me of
When Giorno is behind that wall fighting Babyface, and everyone's like 20 feet away, but Babyface has already taken out his throat, his voice box, so he can't call for help.
Or the rain sounded like Josuke.
Yeah, they're like 20 feet away, but you can't hear him. Sorry, he's too far.
But I was gonna say, remember when I had you read Introductory Antimemetics?
Mm-hmm.
So that's literally like a fight has started, but I'm the only one who knows. Fucking remember researcher Paul Kim, because he got by the fucking Alistair Gray.
Yes.
Entity.
I'm sorry, I was chewing a bite of my sandwich. I thought you were going to be talking for longer. I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, I was. I figured you were like occupied, so I made myself talk longer.
Gotcha.
To fill the silence.
Cool. Well, that was nice of you. That was considerate. I appreciated that. But yeah, Araki is a master of like the feeling of creeping dread. Like, is a fight even happening? I'm not sure. And then the beginning of the fight is usually starts with an interesting opening move. Araki has really good technical narrative. You know what I mean? Battles are back and forth. And sometimes there's an ass pull, but it's usually justified by the character, like, figuring out that they can do something they haven't done before. Anyway, this is going to answer one of my questions from the very beginning of the podcast, of the JOJOLands section of the Locacacast, which is, what is November Rain's range? Can it only make rain downward? Like, can it only make rain below itself, because it's this big tall thing that stands above Jodio? The answer is yes. Later in this chapter and next chapter, they're going to talk about his range. And that was really interesting to me, because I've wanted to know that since the first chapter.
It's super crazy that, like, it has a range.
Araki cares about range again. Wow, incredible. Like, Dragona's stand, short range. Tiny things that crawl onto stuff and shift it around. The Hustle, literally, it's just his body. It's short range. It's no more range than his literal body.
And
Mate Kudasai doesn't even fight.
And, like, up until now, it's been very difficult to, like, gauge, like, even the size of November Rain.
Right.
Because, like, if you recall, the first time we see it, it's this, like, giant spider-looking thing above him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like now now this fight, like, puts in perspective, how big is this thing? How wide of an area can it affect? And can it aim upwards,
I've been begging for answers to those questions since the part started.
I really like this fight specifically, just because it exists to flesh out the details of how Jodio's stand really works.
Right, which I really enjoy. I've been begging for answers to these questions since the first chapter. So,
which is what the first stand battle in a part really should be.
I want to point out. Sorry. Yes. Go ahead.
Is like the role of the first stand battle is to establish your protagonist's stand's capabilities.
Right. And if you do it wrong, like you have them do something with their stand that they're never going to do again, then you've confused people for your entire story. Cough, cough, Giorno and Josuke.
Now you've confused me almost immediately, and you promised me you weren't going to do that.
Anyway, so the wire snagged his ankle, he's upside down, and I go to the next page where it's Jodio and it's the Dragona shouting at him page. I want to point out the selective gravity that's happening to Jodio's hair right here. Because, like, that little flap in front of his face, like the flap that comes down over his nose, should be falling up right now. It should be falling down because he's upside down. But it's not. So you're like, okay, cool, gravity just doesn't apply to his hair. No, it's applying to his little side tail, his little side ponytail, his little horse tail. It's applying to that, but not to the rest of his hair. So what does this tell us?
He uses good hair gel.
Yeah, he uses so much hair gel that his hair doesn't just look like an eggshell, it's literally behaving like a shell. Like it cannot move. So that's canon now. That's my observed canon. It hasn't been stated by the author, but I'm observing it in the narrative. Jodio uses so much fucking hair gel making his stupid eggshell hair thing that it's unaffected by gravity.
Wait until we get the fucking JOJOLands anime and like they'll fix this.
Oh God, please don't! This is an aspect of his character.
Well, hang on. We have to see if Araki changes his mind about whether his hair should be affected by gravity or not.
Yeah. I don't know.
We have to wait until the end of the part to see.
Man. Araki's so good at certain elements of storytelling and so bad at others. But the good things are so good that those things which aren't, you don't even really miss them. You know? It's weird. You gotta turn off certain parts of your, like, story expectations when you're reading JoJo. Anyway. So...
It's the only way to enjoy the ending of Part 8.
Yeah, don't even talk to me ever about anything. Paco is so fucking stupid. So far, Usagi has demonstrated, like, pretty good, like, awareness and, like, understanding of what's going on. Like, Usagi's pretty quick with it. Jodio's like, there's something moving around our perimeter. An animal. Usagi immediately is like, it's the cat. It's him. It's his wire. He followed us. And Paco says, wire? You mean that new type of security system that was set up in the mangaka's mansion? And he's like, for crying out loud, it's not a security system. Didn't you hear what I said before? It's a stand. It's amazing how stupid Paco is and how many times Usagi needs to explain this.
Paco isn't the Abakio, he's the fucking Narancha.
Or the Mista.
He's this dumb motherfucker.
I mean, Mista's not that smart either. But Narancha can't even do math.
Have you seen that breakdown of like how many times Mista shoots himself relative to how many times he shoots an enemy?
I think he shoots himself like 63% of the time he fires a bullet. I think I saw a breakdown of that. I saw the math.
It's something ridiculously high like that. And Giorno just watches it happen and then approaches the piano.
Giorno just watches it happen like, awesome, dude. I can see your resolve. Nice work. This is very impressive. Please keep going.
This piano solo.
Bloom, bloom. Are we ever going to get a better song than that in JoJo? I don't think we ever will. I think that's peak.
You didn't like Stone Ocean's theme?
What was it? Was like JoJo Stone Ocean.
It was like
yeah, that sounds like Final Fantasy boss battle music to me, and not even like good Final Fantasy boss battle music. That to me did not sound like the that to me sounds like Ocarina of Time fighting a small enemy in Hyrule Field at night music. You know, that doesn't seem like main character winning the fight music. So I felt like there was a big tonal lurch for me between and
it did feel kind of like fucking Golden Wind was a bit of the crescendo to or like the apex of basically what all these JoJo themes have been leading up to. Yeah. And then like they had to follow that in Stone Ocean, and that's just a tough act to follow.
No, there was no way. And I mean, I honestly think the one for Part 7 is going to be a lot easier for them, and it's going to be good because just get some Western guitar in there.
You don't have to like follow the legacy of JoJo themes with Part 7.
You can do something totally different. And just get some like Western twangy steel guitar in there in the key of A minor.
But it's like the problem is like we've always had like this, like we've had like each main JoJo theme has to build on like what the last one did. Like part 4 has like elements of part 3's main theme,
Uh-huh.
and then part 5 like basically synthesizes that and also brings in its own thing. But like once you get to part 6, it's like you now have to figure out a way to synthesize 4 different parts of music.
And I don't know that they accomplished that task. They tried, but I don't know. So
I think they did all right. It's not quite Golden Wind, but I don't think anything was ever going to be quite Golden Wind.
well, here's the thing, man. Several times in the history of the JoJo anime, we thought, oh, this is awesome. This is like the best character theme ever. It's peak. It's peaked. Right now, this is the peak. Like, for instance, Overdrive, Joseph's theme, the one that has Lotus Juice rapping on it, the Persona rapper, like, that song fucked. And people were like, oh, that was awesome. That's so much better than Jonathan's theme, which is just kind of like some stuffy, like, orchestral music. Like, it's way too, like, boring movie soundtracky. But Joseph's theme blew people away.
They didn't know what to do for Jonathan.
No, they didn't, but that's fine. Joseph's theme blew people away, and Jotaro's theme, at the time, was, like, probably not expected to top it. Like, nah, there's no way anything can be better than Overdrive. And then, boom,
but then...
Stardust Crusader. That's so good.
Like, oh,
you're like, whoa!
Where did that come from?
Yeah. And then, you get to part 4, and it's like Jotaro's theme is there a little bit, but it's like mixed and interpolated into this new theme. And break down, break down. It's like awesome. And you're like, hell yeah, this is sick. This maybe isn't topping part 3, but this is like as good. This is awesome. I'm down. Like, this is another great JoJo theme. It's sick. And then you get to 5, and you're like, holy shit, this has topped everything. This is the best one ever. How do they keep doing it? And so just, that leading up to part 6 being like, oh, okay.
I think the problem with part 6's theme was they didn't have a solo instrument breakdown. Where it's like the piano in Giorno's theme, the dun 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 dun, and then like those 4 notes that let you know, oh, you're about to get fucked, basically. Right, and then like the same thing is present in
in Josuke's theme. Yeah.
It's
dun 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 dun. And that boom dun dun dun, that's actually Stardust Crusaders. That's been lifted from Stardust Crusaders and put in there. It's a little piece of the melody.
They didn't have the solo breakdown in part 6.
There was no like big awesome instrument to latch onto, like Jotaro's guitar, Josuke's piano, Giorno's piano, Joseph's Lotus Juice rap. There was no awesome element to grab onto. It didn't have any one thing that stuck out and was cool enough to latch onto for me. I don't know. I didn't like Jolene's theme that much. The theme songs to the show, like the OPs, were both pretty good. I didn't really like Part 5's OPs very much.
How did we get onto this in the first place, anyway?
I don't fucking know.
What a strange.
He's the Abakio. He's the Mista. Mista shooting himself. Giorno just watches him do it.
There we go. Approaching the piano. Yeah.
Approaching the piano. Yeah. That was the course that we got to get there.
That was the trajectory.
Easy.
Sometimes the fucking tangent goes like so wild, and like you just have to trace it back to the origin.
Yeah. And I mean, like, we're here to talk about stuff and to have fun talking about it. So if it's fun to go on a tangent, then let's go on one. It's not that big a deal. Anyway,
No, I was just a little confused about how we got so far.
Oh, yeah. I'm just, like, defending our right to go on tangents. You know what I mean? Because the podcast is, like, an excuse for us to talk about JoJo. It's not for the viewers. It's for us. It's for you and me to do a podcast and to have fun doing it. So, like, this is all just an excuse to facilitate JoJo conversations. So if we have an interesting one, let's go off on a tangent and talk about that for a half hour. You know what I mean? It's like when people are talking at the dinner table and they're having like loud, raucous conversation, but it's like fun and it's nice and everyone's laughing. And then someone's like, "Okay, everybody, like settle down, like chill out." I hate that because it's like, well, what even is the point of us all sitting around the table together except doing that? Like, we had reached the goal. Dinner is just an excuse to get us all sitting together. Now we were doing the actual goal, and you're like turning that off so we can go back and do dinner? Like, that's not... Fuck that.
And to be fair, it's conversation in a podcast episode about 2 chapters where we're struggling to find stuff to talk about because there's not actually a lot going on.
This is true. So, he's arguing with him about the cat. The cat was watching us, what for? Why the hell would I want to know why a cat would do that? Why the hell would I know why a cat would want to do that? It's been following us. It's an animal with an instinct to hunt. Stop, don't go near Jodio. Yeah, and then the strings start attacking Dragona. Now, this is our first instance in this part of JoJo characters taking massive bodily damage that should not be survivable. But I just know she's going to walk it off. So, the string comes up and, like, pierces straight through her back and comes out the front and then sews her into Paco, which is completely insane. And, like, that's pierced your kidney. Like, you're done. Like, that's not a... You can't walk that off. So, Dragona and Paco are being sewn together, which is
I mean, like, we do
amazing visually.
We do already have a designated healer unit in this party. Dragona can use smooth operators to repair damage to a point.
When was that stated? She can, like, close wounds?
I would think so. Because she can, like...
probably.
Because she can, like, blend the flesh over.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and side with you and say that she probably can do minor healing. That sounds like a pretty reasonable thing to think. But while this is visually very interesting and creative and very cool that they're getting sewn together by these horrible strands, it's not giving us much to talk about because it's just kind of action. Getting stabbed, getting pierced, getting sewn. More are coming on gusts of wind. They're flying towards us from upwind. They're floating all over the place. They're tough as steel. It really isn't a security system. It's actually a stand ability. That cat, it has a stand ability. Yeah, thanks. Fucking late to the party, Paco. Where's Usagi?
Oh, he's so fucking stupid.
And then we get like the fake out betrayal. The betrayal fake out. Where's Usagi? Where did he go? The diamond's gone. Not only is the diamond gone, but the lava rock and even the drawing. Yeah, when I read this a month ago, I was like, there is no goddamn way that this is a real betrayal. Like, we were just warned last chapter not to trust our comrades.
It's too soon.
It would be so hack. It would be such shitty writing to have the betrayal happen one chapter later. So I knew this had to be a fake out. And just because we didn't do a chapter review last month, we didn't do an episode of the podcast, I didn't get to call it. But I knew, like, there's going to be a bigger, badder betrayal later. This isn't even one. This is like...
And it's like, I don't think anybody's going to, like, call you on that. Well, like, you didn't say it on camera. Because it's like, come on, this is the most obvious call.
Yeah. I just I'm bummed I didn't get the opportunity to make the call and to make it correct. Because, like, if I could see it coming so obviously, I would like to have said it on the record and get credit for being right. But, you know. Whatever. So he leaves. He leaves with the rock and the drawing and everything. So Jodio is trying to reach out to the tree. Right, Usagi, you asshole, you're dead meat. Right, so Jodio's trying to reach out to the tree. Dragona is getting fucking sewn. The branch is 7 meters above me, and the trunk of the tree is 4 meters away. You two, come right below me, directly below where I'm hanging. Oh shit, draw in your legs, get right underneath me. November Rain. So November Rain appears above him and shoots down rain in the little radius below its legs. Now, I feel like...
It is rather large.
It's rather large. It's like 10 meters tall. Because he said the thing is 7 meters away from him. The branch that is above him that he's hanging from. And it's like covering most of that distance. So this thing's like 10 or 15 meters tall. Like, this is a very tall stand. Very large, very huge. But
The Tall King.
it looks like... Yeah, Tall King. It looks like it actually can only produce rain directly underneath it, which is contradictory to something much earlier. You remember when the little Breaking Bad scene happens where he sells that lady drugs? So, when that happens, he makes it rain, but it rains, like, pretty broadly. Or no, I guess it just rains on the woman, but it rains on the woman and Jodio. I don't know. His stand could have walked over on top of her and made it rain, and then walked over on top of these cops and Jodio later. But, I mean, it seems like he has made it rain in a wider region before. Like, when he does the Rohan thing, like, it was more than just, like, a couple meters in a circle.
This is going to be impressive to see in, like, an animated media, because, like, we've never seen a stand this large, like, moving around in the world before.
Right. That's what I was just thinking. Like, how are they gonna...
It's very different from, like, a person-sized stand, but, like, something giant that most people can't see is a very different beast.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I'm looking at when he makes it rain outside of Rohan's, and it's like, that's way bigger of an area than your stand can reasonably stand on top of. So maybe he has the ability to do rain in a wider arc than just this, but his stand still has to be, like, altitudinally above where the rain is going to descend from.
Well, to be fair, he didn't need to make it rain, like, in a huge area, right? He didn't need to make it rain all around the house.
Yeah, just that one spot. But I don't know. Right here, it looks like too small of a radius to even do what we've already seen him doing. But this could be deceptive. This could be misleading. Okay, so November Rain. And November Rain kind of attacks and kills some of the stand wires that are trying to come get them. Because, like, you can see the November Rain, the stand rain from November Rain hits the stand wires from Cat Scratch Fever, and the stand wires, like, die. Like, they... like Final Fantasy enemies. So, his stand rain can kill other stand objects. You know, like, it's not regular rain. We've discussed that, at least. But the thing is, if it did that, then why are they still sewn together? You know what I mean? Like, if his rain can cut these ropes and vanquish them, like Final Fantasy enemies, then
It
why
looks like they're in sort of a blind spot.
So he can't hit them with it, otherwise they'll be damaged? Maybe that is it.
That may be what they're going for, yeah.
Okay, because if he hits them with the November Rain, then they'll get hurt. Okay, so he can't just, like, wash it off of them. Yeah, okay. So he killed the ones that were flying towards them.
Although, doesn't this contradict that second fight where he was busted for the possession of drugs, and then, like, he made it rain on the undercover cop and only damaged the bag with the drugs in them? Yeah,
it does. Because in that one, the cop lady, it's very explicitly shown in this panel that the rain hits her finger, drips down her finger like normal rain, and then becomes heavy bullet rain when it hits the baggie with the evidence. So, him choosing which things are affected by the heaviness of the rain.
So it may be like he can choose the targets, but only if he knows exactly what they are. And since he doesn't know what the strings are, he has to
possibly
have them be in the blind spot.
Possibly the strings are like too deeply embedded. Like you wouldn't be able to hit the strings without hitting them. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. But I feel like if the November Rain can choose to be normal rain for certain objects and be heavy, murderous, deadly rain for other objects, he should be able to just wash the fucking strings right off of them. But I guess that would be too easy. Anyway, so he tries to grab the tree trunk and fails, and he's like, the trunk's a whole 4 meters away. I can't grab onto it. Oh shit, I see them. They're looking this way. And that's the end of the first chapter. We see the cats, and they're there. And there's 3 of them now. Next chapter.
And then on to the next chapter.
On to the next. Now this is a pretty cool chapter page as well. And we've got an in-color Ultra Jump page too. It's pretty cool. I like how
I think it's a real wasted opportunity to not have Jodio doing like the circle game inside of this O. It's like it's like you looked.
Yeah, that's a neck. It's funny because this is the same photo as the last chapter cover, but Dragona and Paco's positions are shifted. Like Jodio is basically in the same pose doing the same thing, and Usagi as well, basically in the exact same pose. But Dragona is now standing instead of sitting. She's like switched places with Paco. And Paco's now doing Dragona's pose, but Dragona's not doing Paco's pose. Dragona's doing her own different pose. I think that's interesting. Like, he was going to redraw basically the exact same thing, but he switched 2 of their positions. And then we've got an interesting thing. The 9-pointed star. Do you see this shit?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This doesn't even look right. Like, something geometrically is just wrong about it. Like, it shouldn't be like that. A 9-pointed star? Are you joking? Like, it seems hand-drawn, and it doesn't seem quite right. There's something off about it.
Yeah, no, he fucked up. There's curved sides here.
Yeah, it's not quite right. It's not quite right.
Like
he did it by hand.
Like what you should see is like straight lines on like between 1 and 8 and 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Like everywhere else, but and like 7 and 9, and 9 and 2, and 2 and 4. 2 and 4 is really fucked.
Yeah, it is.
And 4 and 6, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, let's stop looking at it. I just want to get out of here now.
Oh, this hurts. This is really bad.
Yeah, the longer you look at it, the worse it gets. Okay.
I can't believe you've done this, Araki.
Next, a stand attack. There are cats attacking us. Why? What would it do that for? Have they been watching us since back at Kishibe Rohan's villa? Back at the pool, I got the impression that cat had nothing to do with Rohan-sensei. Could they really be going after the diamond? What in the world is it trying to achieve by attacking us like this? It's totally possible it's just trying to eat. Now that line is important to me because it reminds me of the Radio Gaga incident. It reminds me of Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. You know, like these are rock animals. I'm gonna go ahead and call that these cats are rock fucking animals. And I don't know if we've called that already because it was a weird looking cat to begin with. But these cats for sure are rock animals. And I don't even think they're malicious. Like, I don't even think that they are trying to get the diamond or anything like that. I think they literally are just trying to eat. They're just creatures, and this is what they do. And we just have the misfortune of running into them.
There's a quote from Doctor Who that's relevant here. Almost nothing in the universe is evil, but almost everything in the universe is hungry. And hungry looks a lot like evil from the wrong end of the cutlery.
That's really good. I like that. I like that. That's a good little piece of writing. And then this is so cool. They wrap the strings around all the trees and then just like slice an entire grove of trees in one go. Like, that's awesome. I love shit like that that makes you go, oh shit, this is a more powerful opponent than I thought we were fighting. I love that. So our characters are getting way fucked up. They're sewn to each other. Jodio is unable to help. Jodio, break off the branch you're hanging from. We can't free your ankle from that wire. Use the raindrops to break the branch.
This is some fucking Spider-Man shit right here. This panel.
Yeah. The branch is outside my range. It's too high up. So great. Hard confirmation that November Rain does in fact have range. It can't produce rain higher up than it is standing. Like altitudinally, it's not there. 7 meters. There's no way the cat took the distance to the branch into account when it launched its attack, right? Shit, there's no way to defend ourselves. We gotta get up against the trunk. Paco, don't move from beneath me. Stay there. That wire wrapped around your ankle, Jodio. The only thing that can get close enough to cut it is the hustle. Dragona, get moving. He's so cool.
That's a very weird way to say that.
Is the hustle. And then he fucking uses his back muscles to climb the damn tree. It's so cool.
Although we have seen him use this move before.
Yeah, I mean, he just used it against Rohan when he had Rohan in the fucking sleeper hold for a second there. And that was awesome.
I'll admit, of the protagonist stands introduced so far, I think the hustle probably has the least potential.
Oh, I think you're so wrong. He's already used it to, like, vibrate his own flesh at the rate of, like, an actual, like, electric saw. I think you're so wrong. I think he's going to find so many more uses for this.
Well, okay, I may have phrased that badly, but, like, when I say least potential, what I mean is, like, actually, like, don't get me wrong, Araki is a good writer, but, like, this doesn't fill me with confidence when we see him using the same move, like, almost 2 chapters in a row.
Well, here's the thing. Jodio only has one move, and we saw him use it 2 chapters in a row, literally the first 2 chapters of the story, where they do that cop fight, and then the next chapter feel the need to just do another cop fight, basically redoing what they just did for no reason.
That's fair, but, like, given that he is the protagonist, like, I have to believe that, like, he'll develop something different that, like, some way of, like, using his reign in a different way.
Yeah, I hope so as well. I believe that's going to happen. You know, your protagonist has to grow. He has to go upward from his starting position. Alright, so he's going to cut the wire off the ankle, wobble around and get closer to me. So they're trying, but the strings are, like, coming up the tree at them, and then they see the cat above. And the other 2 cats also above. The cat climbed up the tree. They're looking at our distances.
By very angry spaghetti.
They know what our ranges are. So this is crazy. So the cats are smart enough to know their ranges. And then the cats are actually, like, producing these strings from their tails. And it's, like, their hair, actually. It's not even strings.
Yeah, this is some freaky shit.
Yeah, and he says...
This is some good Araki.
Yeah, he says, these things, are they even cats? Hell, are they even animals at all? I think these are rock animals. It's not from the side. They're not coming at us horizontally from upwind. They're attacking vertically now. They don't need to ride on the wind. Shit. They're coming at us from the treetop. So the fur from those tails are the wires, huh? They're coming. And then everyone's getting wrapped up. I love how JoJo has, like, the sense of anticipation when you're reading the thing. For example, like, things are bad right here, right? But then you look up and you see the panel of the cat sitting there. You go to the next page. Now there's 3 cats. You go to the next page. The tails are unwinding and the fucking strings are coming out. You go to the next page. The strings are attacking everybody. They're winding around. Everyone's about to die. Like, this is a pure panic page. And then you click next. Oh, no, yeah. So, even worse. Now everybody is, like, getting super killed. There's even worse panic page. Paco's fucking eye is coming out of his head. Dragona can't use smooth operators. The scissors are broken. So this is, like, the ultimate panic page. And then the very next one, November Rain.
Is this the most gruesome we've gotten so far in JoJo?
Ever? I don't think so. But in part 9, absolutely.
It's definitely, I think, like, the earliest we've gotten this gruesome.
Oh, yeah. And, like, Paco and Dragona, like, they both get strangled and, like, keel over. They die. They stop trying. Like, the life drains from their bodies. And Jodio does the coolest shit ever. He kicks off of the side of the tree, November Rain. And so November Rain, because he's angled to the side, is able to like shoot downwards from Jodio's perspective. It's down, but it's sideways, and he's able to hit the cats.
And you see you have these panels of the cats looking up, and they're like, "Oh shit!
Oh shit!" And then like the next panel where he has all of those rain bullets coming out, that reminds me so much of Johnny Joestar shooting a bunch of nail bullets at once. You know what I mean? Like the way it's drawn.
Oh, I was thinking of like Mista's bullets.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the bullets in JoJo look the same, but like, you know, by the end, when Josuke could shoot bubbles, they were also illustrated like this. So like to see him use November Rain in this way, like a gun, is like awesome and fills me with confidence that he's gonna keep learning and evolving his stand.
November Rain looks pissed on this panel.
Yeah, he does. He looks so mad. November Rain looks like it's frowning. And this wasn't the case.
Are screwed now.
This wasn't the case a couple panels ago, or last chapter, or the chapter before. Like, he doesn't normally look pissed. Oh, no, he does. He totally does. He does normally look pissed.
He's a very angry tall king.
Yeah, he does look pissed. Excellent. Great. Okay, so...
This cat is getting absolutely rocked by the fucking rain bullets.
The rain bullets really hit the shit out of that one cat. 2 of them dodge it, but one of them gets just fucking destroyed by it. And we don't even see what happens to him. He just, like, goes away. He's just into the distance.
He is no longer a factor in this fight.
Have you seen that, He's no longer a factor. He's just not important. Like, he doesn't matter. Have you seen I Think You Should Leave?
No, I haven't.
Well, there's this whole thing where, like, they're late to a party, and he's like, oh, I'll just lie and say the babysitter was late. And the lie gets out of control where he's like, yeah, fucking babysitter. Like, he's making too big of a deal out of it. And they're like, well, what happened? And he's like, it was like a car accident thing, like a hit and run. And they're like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, but it's okay. The people, it like doesn't matter. They're like, what do you mean? He's like, well, they just like don't matter. Like they're just not like real people. It doesn't, he just wants them to drop it, but he's unable to like come up with a reason why it should be dropped. And so they're like, do we need to call the police? And he's like, no, the cops came. They just said like, it's fine. These people don't matter. I'm sorry. That was a long detour. But you're like, the cat is no longer a factor. He does not matter. Like, he's just not important. Like, he's over there, but he just isn't important. Anyway, 1 cat's worth of wires went limp. I think that's such a cool move that he fucking swung off of the tree and shot his rain sideways.
And then what happens next with the cats?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
This chapter is full of terrifying panels.
Full of surprises. But I have a question about his sideways rain. Is it just like according to his physical orientation, like whether he's up or down or sideways? Because he could lay down on the ground and just shoot sideways, you know what I mean? So like so long as his feet were pointing towards you?
So like we have to assume his default orientation is like standing on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So like his stand normally like works. I assume the orientation doesn't matter, but it's the range that like, you know, he needs to be in a position to get above the cats. And that was
I guess so, or at least get on equal footing with them, because he didn't get above them, but he got high enough up that when he shot his rain sideways, it would still hit them. And 2 of them were able to jump out of the way, so it wasn't a direct hit, it was a glancing blow. But yeah, I know what you mean. If he had been just hanging there upside down and tried to shoot rain sideways, it wouldn't have hit them. So yeah, maybe it doesn't depend on his orientation.
I assume he can't shoot it like straight up, or like,
yeah,
if he did, it wouldn't be as effective.
Right, or it would just be like shooting a water gun into the air, like it would just come right back down.
Yeah.
So this next page is crazy. The two cats both just go into like sicko mode. They both go into sicko mode. And they just like start fusing into each other to create a net.
Oh yeah, I have to point out, by the way, we didn't get confirmation on what the cat's stand name is.
Right. I don't even think it's a stand at this point. I think it's rock animals. I think they're rock animals.
You think Araki learned from Dr. Wu?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, because there was no reason that the hair clip did that. There was no reason that da-da-da did that. There was no reason that Obladi Oblada did that. There was no reason that do re mi fa sol la ti do did that. They were just like that. Like,
there was no reason for skibbity bop and dot up.
Yeah. No. Not at all. There was no reason to do that. But what I'm saying is, nobody made those things what they are. Nobody gave them their abilities. They just are. That's just how they are. They're weird creatures, but weird creatures just exist in this world. They don't necessarily need to have stand abilities. Like, none of those things I just named had stands, but they had weird, freaky abilities.
Yeah, it's very different, like the universe of Steel Ball Run compared to like, because in earlier parts this would have been definitively a stand. Like, there's nothing else it could be.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, if they'd fought a cat in part 3 that makes nets out of its fur, that would have been its stand ability. Two of the cat's bodies are changing shape. One cat's worth of wires went slack, though. You're going to get into the cleft of the tree. We got to hide ourselves. And he's going to take another shot. He says, November. And then, they got him in the fucking net. They made a net. And this is like another one of those panic pages where like his face is now bleeding. He's inside of the net. And we've seen, this is the value of that shot earlier where we saw the wire slice all of the trees in one go. The value of that shot is that now that the wires are around our main character's face, we are extra scared. Because we've seen it cut through 20 trees like it was nothing. So this net could cinch around him and just render him a bunch of cubes on the ground. Like, that's terrifying.
I like the shifting like power dynamic in this fight, especially because like you have even if we don't go back a chapter, we have he's hanging upside down from the tree, and like everybody's fucked basically, right?
Oh yeah.
And then like he gets manages to, or Paco's like, I'll get you like these scissors so that so you can cut that line around off your ankle, and it's like that's a little bit of a hope spot, right?
Right.
But then like the cats see what they're doing, and then the wires tighten, and they get attacked by more wires, right? And that's a point towards the villain side, right?
Right. It's like we're watching a little Guitar Hero rock meter tick back and forth between red rock, yellow rock, and green rock. You know what I mean? Like, things are going bad for our protagonists, okay, or good for them. And it's like we start every battle in green, we go right down to red, and then we're just like flitting between yellow and red. Like, things look really, really bad, or things look only slightly really bad. We can get out of this, and no, now they just look really bad again.
Yeah,
it's like we're flitting back and forth between yellow and red.
Paco and Dragona pass out, and right. that's like, oh no, all hope is lost. But then we see Jodio do this maneuver where he like flips up over and calls out his stand and like starts pelting them with these rain bullets. And they're like, oh no, he's got this now. This fight's in the bag. But then the remaining cats get pissed and form a net, and they get him in the net. And they're like, oh no, now everything's fucked.
Yeah, like we ticked up into yellow for 1 second when he hit that cat with the rain bullets. We were like, yes, he's got this actually. And then we went right back into the red as soon as the net comes out.
But then we see the car coming out of the fucking jungle.
Fuck yeah. The best part of the chapter. The return of Usagi Aloha Oe. Yeah, so he crashes into the tree, and the two cats like skitter and scramble for purchase. One of them just straight falls out the tree, and the other one like and scratches down the side of it. They went limp. Whoa, the rental car. And it's Usagi! Usagi, you came back. What do you want? What do you want, Pink-chan? Pick something and say it. The mate kudasai will turn into a fake of it. You for sure want the net, right? Not like the internet. Like a net for catching these things and beating the tar out of them.
So this is another interesting thing. Is like apparently the object that you want him to like duplicate doesn't actually even need to be physically present.
Yeah, he doesn't have to like go over to it and sit next to it and change into it like he did with the security camera.
But it's like there isn't even a net here, right?
No, it's the net that the cats have made. He's duplicating that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So Usagi came back. You're getting the wrong idea, guys. You need to know I didn't decide to come back. I had an objective in mind, so I just went to the car for a bit, okay? That's totally different than from hauling ass and then changing my mind. Got it? Alright, now we get to the ass pull that's going to win the fight. This is so dumb. I actually hate this. See these burgers I've got? We'd left them on a car seat in a paper bag. I bought them back at the airport shop, figuring I'd eat them later. They've got cheese and pineapple on them as toppings. But you know how normally a burger has a patty between two buns, right? I left for the car to get the patties. And you know what? These little guys have already eaten them. So you see, I've already won. Because I broke the patties apart and fed them to the cats before they went up that tree. Because listen,
This guy...
I was thinking real hard, serious, like sticking some drugs into the patties and feeding it to him. But then I was like, you know, I got to try this little experiment. It wasn't drugs I mixed into those patties. It was something worth a lot of money. I swiped some caviar from Rohan's fridge, so I tucked the caviar into the meat. It was caviar sturgeon eggs. Cats love that stuff. Beluga sturgeon, $400. So this caviar is real expensive stuff, and I mixed it into the hamburger meat and fed it to the cats when they were on the ground a little while ago. So now let's see what happens, shall we? Okay, can we just say right now, just that's ridiculous on the face of it? Like, you had no time during this fight to go do that?
So, I understand your premise, right? I get, like, the mechanics of how you got this W. The problem is, you said that you fed it to the cats.
Right. When did you have time to do that?
If you had omitted that one line, I could have bought that, like, okay, maybe the cats got in and like that was before the actual fight proper. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He said I fed it to the cats when they were on the ground a little while ago. So this is before we went up into the tree. But
like
Usagi only left.
Like what I'm thinking is, oh yeah, right, because he left the fight.
He left the group after Jodio was already swung up into the tree. Like,
no, when did the cats have time to eat that stuff?
I'm serious, dude. There was no time. That's why I said this is just ridiculous on the face of it. Like, there was no time for the cats to do that.
Like, it's a brilliant strategy. Don't get me wrong. I like the fucking.
But it's just
I like the creativity of it. But like, when was their time?
I'm getting pretty sick of this aspect of Araki's writing style. This is something he does that I just really don't like at all. Where he will, and he likes doing this. He writes himself into situations without having any idea beforehand of how he's going to write himself out. He likes doing that. He likes being challenged and feeling cornered and having to come up with something cool. But, like, it leads to a story where things
Surprise,
are constantly...
the sword was on fire the whole time.
It leads to a story where things are constantly set up but never paid off, and things are paid off without having any actual setup for them. Like, that was the whole problem with JoJo Part 8. The setups and payoffs were all wrong. Like, things were paid off without any setup for them, and things were set up and then never paid off.
Surprise, the sword was on fire the whole time.
Speaking of, I watched all of the JoJo but really fasts.
Oh, you watched all of them?
I did. I really liked them. Shout out Viva Reverie. Everyone go subscribe. She's cool.
honestly, like I was hoping like we would get to watch them together, so I could
I'm sorry.
get your first reaction.
That day
But,
after you showed me that one, I was like, that was really cool. And then that night, I was lying in bed and I was like, I might as well just watch the second one. Fucking watched all of them that night.
Did you watch the Thus Spoke Rohan one as well?
No, I didn't know that was one. I watched Giorno Eats King Crimson, though, which was pretty good, because then Jodio shows up at the end. And I was like, this is such an awesome interaction. Like, Giorno and Jodio hanging out, and Jodio is, like, extorting Giorno for money. Like, that was so fucking cool. Everyone, you have to go watch this. Because Jodio, like, nothing's sacred to him. Like, you're in a pickle. You need my help. How about $40 million? Like, you're the mob boss of all of Italy. I know you can afford it. Like, it was so cool. Jodio is such a new character, but his characterization in this specific fan work was already fucking on point. It was fantastic.
We should watch the Spoke Rohan one after we finish this podcast.
Yeah, sure. We could watch it on the podcast. Fuck it.
You just want to watch it now?
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it.
All right.
Let's finish this.
Put up the screen share.
Let's finish this singular page.
Oh yeah, sure.
The caviar is expensive stuff. I mixed it into the hamburger meats and fed it to the cats while they were on the ground. And then he's got the lava rock. So he's got the lava rock, and the cats just walk over to him instead of fucking with Paco or Dragona. They completely ignore them. Say you want the net. Ask for the net. Say it, Dragona. I want the net. Yeah, and then the Mate Kudasai just, like, appears.
So
like it appears from his body.
So remember earlier when I predicted that, like, you know, if he is the traitor, maybe he's hiding the fact that that he doesn't actually need somebody else to say they want something for the Mate Kudasai to turn into it.
And I've talked about Canolo Morolo being the only instance of a character in JoJo ever on purpose misrepresenting what their stance does to gain an advantage over others.
This is a hell of a gambit here.
Yeah.
He's staking his life here, if that's the case.
Right. If he's pretending, this is a really big move to make. Just when you're like, that's a lot to put on the line. I really do want to see that concept come back, though.
But I really
lying
respect
about what your stand does.
I really respect the hustle, though. If that's what Araki decides to go with, then this is genius.
You really respect the hustle, and I really respect the Mate Kudasai. Next panel. So yeah, the cats are trapped in the damn net. Hell yeah. Lava rock. Cats trapped in the net. Oh, and then this is such a cute panel. It's like of the Mate Kudasai halfway fused into the net. Like, this is what it looks like when it's actively fused into the thing. And it goes new.
I like Usagi in this panel. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Wait, what panel?
With the fused Mate Kudasai.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
The car.
I was actually on the next page
is there an
with the
earlier
next.
one?
No, it's a later one. I was one page too far. But yeah, he's like, haha, yeah. He's doing a little pose where he's pointing. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was already on the last page of the chapter. There's another fused Mate Kudasai here that's pretty cool to look at. So he says, maybe these things are wild. Ooh, scary. For now. The 24-karat diamond was just the beginning. This should go without saying, but don't speak a word about the lava rock. Can you trust your comrades? I wouldn't. This lava rock, is it from the island of Hawaii? Where did he find it? Rohan-sensei, I don't know what happened, but even if you don't want me speaking a word about it to anyone, it looks like something was watching you, even before we got to your villa in Hawaii. And that's the end of the chapter. So it seems like they have, unfortunately, attracted the attention of whoever was already scoping out Rohan. Whoever was surveilling him and was planning on taking that rock. Now they have to go get it from our gang. That's it. That's the end of the second chapter.
Cool. And a relatively story light chapter it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. The fight's over now. I'm excited to see what comes next. These were probably... I don't know. There was some good stuff in here. Firing the goddamn November Rain sideways was cool. Usagi coming back was cool, but then his plan was dumb. I don't know, man. This was kind of a mixed bag for me. I have to say I didn't like these 2 chapters fighting against the cats nearly as much as the first 5 chapters.
Yeah, that's
how it
fair.
goes. So do we have predictions, questions, comments, concerns, letters to the editor?
I'm not sure there's any predictions that were prompted by this particular chapter.
Yeah.
Let me see if we have any comments. I doubt it. We've got 20 views on the last one.
No. I wasn't meaning real
there's
comments on our
there's no
channel.
way.
We don't have any
Yeah,
of
no.
those.
We have no loyal listeners.
How long have we been doing this for? We have
Where's
0
the loyalty?
fans.
Well, we had fans before, but I don't know what happened to them.
I don't know. Fake fans. Fucking fair weather fans. I tell you, what's the world coming to?
So do you want to close this off by watching Thus Spoke, but really fast?
Yeah, man.
on
Fuck
the-
it. Let's rock.
All right. It's like 4 minutes, so okay. Put up the screen share, by the way.
Yeah. Ah, yes, the Rohan OVAs, but really, really fast. Oh, hang on. Yeah, let's get this screen share going. Excellent.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Boom. Sharing my screen. Go live. All right, do you have audio?
Hey, Rohan. So, I
There it
was...
is.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Hey, Rohan. So, I mean, you don't have to, but I was planning a flight to Italy and... Italy? That reminds me of the time when I just so happened to... Episode 16, at a confessional. It all started when I was punched so hard I flew all the way to Italy. I decided while I was there I would take a few pictures of some boxes. I mean, why waste the opportunity? Anyone would agree. Father, I've come to confess. Goddamn, what the hell? Holy shit. Go on. It all started when I was 24 years old. The time when so much corn. I hated moving the corn. Too much corn. I hate this corn. May I have a small bite to eat? Only if you move this corn. I hate this corn. Okay. He's dead. You did this. But then I kind of forgot about it for a while. I had a child, got rich, started selling a bunch of corn when suddenly... Yes, child, who is mine? It's me again. Why, hello. Hey, wait, stop that. Killing you because corn landed on your wrong feels like poetic justice, doesn't it? I don't agree. Please leave the child who is mine's tongue post-haste, preferably. Play the popcorn game. Okay, no, I didn't understand a word of that story. Have you seen the movie Face Off? How dare you trick me? I'm angry too. I'm kind of complicit. What the hell are you? On second thought, maybe I'll stay in here for a while. Cameo! Where the hell did you come from? Episode 2, Mutsukabe Hill. Cameo! This reminds me of the time there was this girl who lived on a mountain and accidentally killed her boyfriend right when her fiancé was visiting. Honey, I'm home. Okay, I'm coming in. I don't know why, but I was expecting a bit more out of this visit. Oh well. Yeah, so I ran into this girl and used Heaven's Store on her, which is why I bought a mountain, but I was a little low in funds after my house burned down and Sailor Moon canonically exists as a property in the JoJo universe. I've got you now! Look, I know you've got a thing going, but I'm really not in the mood for an adventure right now. And that was the story of the infinity bleeding on the mountains. Cameo! Tell me who you are, I need to know, don't you dare cut away! Episode 5, Millionaire Village. So I was thinking I might buy a house in Millionaire Village where if you buy one you become a bajillionaire and single-handedly completely ruin the economy. Sounds like fun. Reminds me of the time just when... like absolutely annihilated. Cool. Reminds me of... And you're coming along. Wait, but my framing device... Manners here are very important. If we don't have perfect manners, we will be refused entry. Be sure to be on your best behavior. Whose child is this? Thank you respectfully. Master will be here shortly. Please humbly enjoy this spot of tea respectfully. I appreciate it because I must... You have incurred 981 infractions. You must leave the premises immediately, respectfully. What are the chances I could... Your whole family and everyone you love is dead. Alright, stop that. Heaven's Door. Ah, the trees are angry. Good to know. Hey, could you tell the trees to chill out, maybe? Not unless you have. Well, if you're offering. Cameo! Ah, turns out we were in my framing device the whole time. That makes me feel a bit better. Would you like to come have a sleepover? Sure, why not? Would you like to fix my dad? Not in the mood. Episode 9. The Room. What's that? You want to see my cast? You mean this one? Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm in a lot of pain right now. I'm reminded of this story featuring this guy I met at the gym. I was curious about the bats living in his hair, but I never did think to ask. Muscles. Dinner's ready. Hey, is that really necessary? Muscle good. Okay, but food good too. Food, I need muscle food, need more muscles. TikTok, need sleep so I can wake up and get more muscles. Look, I swear he seemed like a swell guy at the time. So what do you do for fun? Tries and quads, lats, bicep, eight pack. Hey, could you not please with the everything? I have no idea what you're talking about. How about another treadmill contest? First to grab the stop button when the treadmill hits 25 kilometers per hour wins. Why do I always have to come across the weird one?
Wait, first to grab it wins?
I use an exploit of best.
Squats, gym exercise pole, links for days.
I mean, I'm still gonna brag about this later, but trip over a paperclip and stop your toe, dickweight!
Singular push-up.
A dozen of Locacacast! Oh, happy you turned out to be a serial killer, or else I would have felt real bad doing that. Glad that's over with. Wait a minute, we skipped a bunch of episodes. Why haven't they been animated?
Okay, well, fantastic, man. Hell yeah.
All right. And that'll do it for this episode. See you all next month.
Finders keepers!
Everybody check out Viva Reverie. Shout out Viva Reverie.
And she also has like, but really, really fast on like Death Note and fucking Five Nights at Freddy. All like tons of stuff.
I actually watched this video that was like about the whole channel. And it was interesting. It was cool. It was like, yes, the evolution. And they went into the psychology of like why she made this series and why she called it that specifically. And I was like, this is a brilliant little branding thing, you know?
There's these little April Fool's videos and stuff.
Yeah. What the hell is this?
Josuke! 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 Where are you? Damn it, Josuke! Stop playing games! Where is that boy? It's time to start part 4! Everybody's been waiting for it! We can't start it without you! Josuke!
What the fuck?
Gosh, this sucks. I can't believe it. I think we're actually connecting emotionally. Pretty nuts, isn't it?
What the hell is
Hey,
this?
Jotaro. Hey, wait a
What am I watching?
Wow, that was pure luck. I was not in control of that situation at all. Well, time to wrap it up. I think I deserve like a 7-week rest. Where's the nearest spa? Looking for Josuke. What the hell? You seen him? No? Whatever. I thought we had this place on lockdown. You scared me half to death.
This is crazy.
Josuke!
What is this?
Josuke!
I mean, I know what it is, but like, what a strange April Fool's video.
Echo!
It's got a weird tone. The vibes here are strange.
Who the hell are you and what are you doing in my trial grounds? Looking for Josuke. I apologize, but I recognize nobody with that name. His hair looks like a deflated football. Hey, Josuke! Your hair looks like a deflated
Oh, no, you can't say
football.
that, man.
Nope, he's not here. Well, this was certainly something
This
to
is
wake
a visual
up to.
novel now?
I mean, I do my best here in these trying times, but there's no pony videos anymore. I mean, that was the old one, the old 4-year-old one. I should have been finished 4 years ago. Instead, it was finished like Christmas. Yeah, the one that just passed. What's up with that? I think that's just irresponsible.
Looking for Josuke.
And then you got these guys, them JoJos. Now everybody wants the JoJos. You know, there was going to be a Scott-Man 3 too. It had very funny jokes. And then those Trigger Happy Horses, it was going to have more chapters. I think that was going to be the meta of chapter 4 or something. I bet you people would have loved it. As far as I can tell, though, this little cameo is going to be the last time I even show up on this channel. What's up with that?
Wow. Oh, that's such a sad fate for that character. Bemoaning that this is the last time they'll ever appear.
Josuke, come out, wherever you are.
Why would he be back in time?
Come on, here we go again. Josuke.
He looks like a shark. He looks like a bird. What the fuck? Like, I'm not alone in this, right? This video has a strange tone.
No, it is weird.
This is weird.
I actually forgot how weird it was.
Yeah, I don't even know why we're watching this. Should we cut this? I don't even... How far back are we gonna go? I'm scared. What the fuck? Should this even be part of the podcast? I feel like we've...
Looking for Josuke.
It's been almost 10 years since I've seen anyone in this humble old cave of mine. Would you like this sword? It gives you superpowers.
Does the sword help me find Josuke?
Well, I mean,
Then I'm not interested.
that was the end of my game plan. Curses foiled again.
How? Where are we going now? Where are we going now? I'm scared. 1999? 1999! Bees Are Summer!
Josuke Higashikata.
Oh, good night, everybody. That's a Locacacast.
Go subscribe
That's
to Viva
it.
Reverie.
Subscribe to Viva Reverie. Oh my god, that's it. We're done.